Hello, friends. Florida House Democratic Leader Fentrice Driskell here for our weekly Driskell Debrief. Thank you so much for tuning in. And let me say, I really missed y'all last week. I really look forward to the space. I'll tell you that last week I was able to take a little bit of a break last Tuesday and have a little bit of time for my brain to rest and have a little self care. And I guess that's part of what I wanted to talk to y'all tonight is to check in and see how you were doing, to check in and see how you are taking care of yourself and your community, whether it's your family and your loved ones or your friends or whatever chosen community that perhaps you have. Because there's been a lot going on in the world. Lord knows I don't need to tell you that, but I mean, let's use this time to check in. So we've got the chat open. Feel free to share your thoughts about how you're feeling. Feel free to reach out to me directly. Feel free to DM. But that's really what I want to open up this space for tonight. Because let's be honest, there was an assassination attempt on former President Trump last week. And that has a lot of people feeling some kind of way. I want to be very clear about where I stand, which is that political violence has no space in our democracy. No space. I don't care what side of what issue you're on. I don't care what party you're a part of. At the end of the day, we are all Americans. And an assassination attempt is contrary to what we believe in and what we stand for as a nation. I also know, though, that this has brought up a lot of feelings and emotions for a lot of people. So tell me how you're doing. How are you feeling right now? And please also consider using this moment as an opportunity to check in with your friends and loved ones. And like I said, your chosen community about how they are feeling. I've been doing a little bit of that over these past days, and I'll tell you that it's been a mixed bag. I mean, a lot of people are feeling stressed. There are folks who are feeling hopeless. There are folks who are feeling like we must double down and renew our efforts at registering people to vote and making sure that people turn out and participate in our democracy. A lot of mixed emotions. There are young people who I've talked to who have been a part of this generation. They've grown up in school at a time where they have drills about shootings and things. And for them, this has been traumatizing or re traumatizing. A lot of different feelings and emotions that are being brought up. I suppose what I want to share with you is just to honor that if you're not feeling okay right now, please know that it's okay to not be okay. Please know that you deserve and are entitled to the space to feel whatever it is that you need to feel in this moment. Our feelings are big sometimes and they're real and they're valid, and we should give them air to breathe. We should find safe and sacred spaces so that we can share those with others so we don't have to carry those burdens alone. Um, but it hasn't just been that. I mean, there have been Supreme Court rulings that make me want to pull my hair out. And y'all know how much I love my hair. We talk about, I talk about my hair journey with you quite often. But there have been, poor Supreme Court rulings. There's just been, just so much madness in the world. It's like, for those of you who are like me and you like old school music, it reminds me of Marvin Gaye. He had this song where he talks about makes me want to holler. That's how it feels sometimes. Yes, I'm an elected official, but I'm a human being first. And there's a lot that's going on in the world that just makes me want to holler, if I'm honest. So I just want to share with you, I guess, also about how I'm feeling and just check in. And just let you know, yeah, it's okay to experience whatever feelings and emotions that you're feeling, because I feel like we're living in unprecedented times, and sometimes that can also cause us to feel like it's a struggle to know or understand how to move forward. But there's a quote that I like to turn to in these times. It's by Maya Angelou. And y'all know Maya was super wise. If you're not hip to Maya, you need to go and read some of her work, because I'm convinced she was one of the wisest human beings that ever walked the planet Earth. And it seems like she always has the right words for a situation. She's very inspirational to me personally, whether it's through her poetry or her prose. And Maya said that we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Come on now. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Let me tell you what that means for me. That means that even though the odds may be stacked against us, Even though, heck, the odds are stacked against me. I lead the minority party in the Florida House of Representatives. We are deeply in the minority. We are only 36 out of 120 members in that chamber. Yes, we may suffer defeats. We may encounter defeats. No, we may not get every bill passed. We may not get every amendment passed. We may not win every race, but we must not be defeated. That's that second part that is so important, because I believe in the power of hope. But I've talked about it. I've talked about it here. And if y'all have heard me speak anywhere, you hear me talk about it a lot, which is that, when I talk about hope, I'm just not talking about that feeling that makes you warm on the inside, that kind of hope where you could just sit there and just feel so good, that kind of wishful thinking. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of hope that will move you to action, the kind of hope that will motivate you, the kind of hope that inspires change makers to be a part of our community, to be a part of this great democracy, to inspire young people to help lead a nation. That's the type of hope that I'm talking about. And I say that it's how to overcome problematic elections. H.O.P.E, hope. That's the type of hope that we need right now, because it is a strategy. It's a strategy in battle, that if you can get your opposition, you can get your opponent to give up hope before the battle even starts, you've already won. You've already won. That is how essential hope is. For any of you out there who've ever played competitive sports or any sort of competitive anything, whether it can be like singing competitions or drama, or it can be, who knows, whatever, if you've ever been a competitor in a thing, you know that when you step onto that court, onto that field, onto that stage, you have to believe in yourself and have that confidence. You have to have hope. You have to have hope. You have to show up there with a backbone. You have to show up there with some belief in yourself and belief in your cause. You must have hope. And so it is in our democracy. So it is in our government. So it is in our community, right? We opened up talking about the heaviness of things. And I know that sometimes when things feel heavy and the problems look so big, it can be difficult to know where to start. It can be difficult to move forward. And sometimes that sort of thinking leads us to the place where we feel like then the solutions must be so complex. The solutions must be so big. The solutions are so large that whatever I do, how can I make an impact? No, this is where the hope comes in. And it's that hope, I believe, that's the catalyst that lets us change our emotions, channel our emotions into action. Hope is the catalyst. And that is what we must do. That is what we must do. Listen to me. For those of you who are in Florida, I love our state. If you're not in Florida, I love our country. And I believe that many of you show up here every week because you feel the same. But just like we believe that America always has the capacity to be that more perfect union, to always evolve into being the sort of nation that we want to see, where we can all feel like we have a place here, just like we feel that same way for the state of Florida. That change is only going to happen if we make it happen. And that change will only happen if we leverage the power of small. Yeah, the problems are big, but we got to leverage the power of small. What do I mean? We have to do our own individual effort, because when you put those together in the aggregate, that is how we make real change. I had a conversation with a wonderful woman today. She's involved in commercial real estate. She's retired now. And she was sharing with me about her journey in her career, because she's been in a very male-dominated industry, commercial real estate, construction. And she really has been a pioneer in that field in the Tampa Bay area. And I took a lot of encouragement from her. But we talked about that today, about, what is the more that we can do? Like, where do we even start? And I talked to her about the power of relational organizing. And I know that's something that we've talked about in this space too, but just to refresh, relational organizing simply means that we use the power of our own networks and the people that we know to make real change. And I was explaining to her that my team and I just did a training last night where we worked with a group and taught them about relational organizing. And we said, hey, this doesn't have to be hard. Think about 5 people that you could reach out to tonight, just 5 people. And you don't even have to ask them anything to do anything. You can just say, hey, how are you doing with everything that's going on in the world? Or if you want to ask them something, you could say, hey, friend, are you registered to vote? I just wanted to check in. There's a lot going on in the world and want to make sure you can participate in our democracy. And the feedback we got from that simple exercise was phenomenal. People who were in touch with friends that they hadn't talked to in a long time. Someone told us that their nephew wasn't registered to vote, and they're so glad that they reached out because now he's going to register. Someone told us about their daughter who hadn't requested her vote by mail ballot, and now that she has. And so as I shared this with my new friend today, I watched as the light bulb went off in her mind, because she thought, my goodness, if folks could do that just based on like a half an hour or an hour training, how much more, can we do if we start to bring communities together to really talk to them about the power of relational organizing? Friends, this is what we must do. And we must hold on to hope, and we must not be defeated, as Maya Angelou said, because I firmly believe that that's what the opposition wants. That's what I think the real end game is. It's like, how can we be hopeless? How can we be defeatist? But no, democracy demands our action and our constant input. Democracy is a discipline. And it's not just about turning out for the 2024 election, although that is super important, but it's about being the sort of citizens that we want to be and the sort of country that we want to be in. Making sure that we don't bury our heads in the sand, but that we are active participants, that we take our place, that we know we belong, and that we use our vote because that is our voice. We must have hope. I think about, too, like where my parents come from. My mom's from Greensboro, North Carolina. My dad's from Bartow, Florida. They grew up during the civil rights movement. In their lifetime, there were segregated water fountains. Hello, somebody. So if they're playing on the playground, they can't even get a drink of water. I think about what people in our country have been through. And I think about how much we have overcome. And I know that we are capable of anything in this country if we work hard and we put our minds together and we work towards the America that we want to see. And that's where I'm at. I shared with you about some of the feelings that I've had. And yeah, it's hard to watch our country grow through this time. It's hard. It's hard to watch us so divided. But now more than ever, this is a time where we must come together and unite. Come together and condemn political violence in any form because it's wrong. And then dig down deep to find our hope to stay moving. We have to keep marching. We have to keep moving forward. It is the only way. It's the only way that we have ever achieved any progress in this nation. And my goodness, we've achieved so much. And I know we have so much further to go. And I believe and know and understand that we will do it together. And you need to know that I will be fighting alongside you every step of the way. I'm here for you. I see you. I appreciate many of you volunteer and you work so hard, and I see it and I appreciate it. And I thank you. And for the things that go unseen, thank you. And for those of you who are sitting out there and you're wondering, how do I get involved? How do I play a role? This is what we're here to do. This is what my team and I are here literally to do. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to me on social media. You can write to us at your story or your voice at finterestforflorida.com. Kristen and Zach are helping to work in the background, and they'll throw it up in the banner so that you can see the email address that you can use to reach out to us. We can help you. We can help you. We can train you to relational organize, whatever it is that you need. If you want to volunteer in a campaign and you don't know where to get started, we can help you with that too. Because we mean it when we say that we're here for you, and we're here to try to build up this army of folks, volunteer army, to be very, very clear, who will help people register to vote, who will help people register to vote by mail, who will help with voter education. Because people, this is another Maya Angelou quote, I think, people, what is it? It goes something to the effect of like, people don't know how much, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Like how do we help people and meet their needs and give them the education that they need to feel like they can be an active participant in our democracy? So let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, folks are feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, I hear you. I get it. There's been so much. I feel like every time I turn on the news or I read a new headline, it's like, my goodness, what has happened now? And it's event after event in this news cycle that never seems to end. So I get it that you're feeling overwhelmed. I've been feeling that too. Thank you so much, Susan Greenbaum, for dropping that link into the chat, which is registertovoteflorida.gov. Registertovoteflorida.gov is the website that you can go to get registered. This is a good one too. This quote by Audre Lorde: "Your silence will not protect you." Amen. Amen. We need to speak truth to power. We need to always speak our truth. We need not diminish our own integrity, by the way, as we do that. Okay. We can do that in a civilized manner. And then we must carry on and do the work of the people, do the work that must be done, which is making sure that people are registered to vote. And then Kimberly Overman, hey, Commissioner, says we can't let apathy allow us to lose progress towards equity and inclusion for all. Amen. That is right. I refuse to let the progress that we've made slide by. I can't do it. I can't do that and look my parents in the face, my parents who have endured the things that they did growing up in the segregated South. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. We're going to keep moving forward. And if you're with me, and I hope you're with me, know that yes, this is a moment. Let's all take a deep breath. Let's feel what we need to feel. And then tomorrow we get back up, and the next day we get back up, and we keep trying and we keep working, because that is what life demands of us. That is what this time demands of us. This is our generation's time. I believe it. So I know I've been preaching to y'all tonight. I know I've been preaching a little bit, but somebody said, take them to church. They said I could. I might not be a preacher or a pastor, but let me tell you what I believe, and I believe in it firmly. And I'm not telling you anything. I'm not telling you or asking you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself, because I believe that this is the work of the moment and this is what we must do. So let's go over it again. Please register to vote. Please enroll and vote by mail. And please make sure that your friends and family are registered to vote by mail. If you don't know how to do that, or you don't even know where to start, think about 5 people in your contacts. You can go through them tonight. 5 people that you can text and just say, hey, I'm checking in on you to see how you're feeling. And I'd like to make sure that you're registered to vote. It's that simple. And if they're not registered to vote, you can give them that website that we mentioned so that they can go ahead and get registered. You can also ask them if they're enrolled in vote by mail, because that is essential to the voting process. We want people to be able to vote early. And I'm not talking about early voting. I'm talking vote by mail. We want them to get their ballots in early so that we can be sure that their ballots are safe and secure, and that they make them to the supervisor of elections on time so that they can be counted. An important date for you to know in Florida, which is that the voter registration and party affiliation deadline for the August primaries is July 22nd. So the primary is coming up in mid-late August. And if you want to participate in that, if you want the ability to vote, you have to register to vote and declare your party affiliation by July 22nd. Florida has closed primaries. So this means that only Republicans can vote in the Republican primary. Only Democrats can vote in the Democratic primary. If you are an independent or no party affiliation, unfortunately, Florida will not allow you to vote in the primaries. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is the current state of the law. So just know that if you want to participate and vote in the primaries, you have until July 22nd. I would recommend that you do it today. Don't wait till the last minute, because you don't want to have a problem with the registration that you're not able to fix because you don't have the time. So if you are in Florida, you can go to registertovoteflorida.gov. That's registertovoteflorida.gov. If you are out of state, which I know we have many folks who tune in from all across the country, and we appreciate that, you can go to vote.gov. And I want you to, be safe out there. I want you to be safe. I want you to, be mindful as you would be, but I also want to make sure that you don't let this immobilize you, because I think that when we lose hope, when we give in to that sense of defeat, when we actually internalize that, that's when we become defeated. And when we lose hope, that's when I think our opposition wins. And we should not let them have that. We should fight. We should fight with our vote, with our efforts, with our volunteerism, for, not against. We should fight for the Florida and the future that we want to see. That more perfect union where everybody can look at our communities and our society and feel like they belong, where kids have a shot at the American dream, where they can have a good education, where families can have good paying jobs, where they can afford to take care of their families, where people can have affordable and safe housing, where property insurance rates are lower, where we're looking out for people and not the powerful and the politically connected, where we care about our environment and take care of these natural resources to make sure that we have clean air to breathe and clean water to drink. This is a Florida worth fighting for, where we have a nation where women can make the choices that they need over their bodies. Hello, somebody. Where government interference, we don't have to worry about it when we try to make these most intimate decisions of heart and home. This is an America that we can have if we only vote it into existence. So these are the efforts that we must make as we head towards November and beyond. I thank you for tuning in. We'll keep it a little short tonight because I know that things are so very heavy, but we do, as ever, look forward to hearing from you. Please feel free to reach out, share your stories. Don't let them suppress our stories, y'all. Don't let them get us down. Don't let them get you down. It's too important. We've got too much work to do. There's too much at stake. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.